Here's the Chapter 12 problems assignment, dealing with the statement of cash flows. And the first problem, they give you various activities, and you need to say where it goes on the statement of cash flows. Operating activities, investing activities, financing activities. Is it a non-cash investing and financing activity or not reported on the statement or in the notes? So, issuing stock for common stock, or issuing stock for cash, right? That's a financing activity. So you'll just go through and you'll put them where they need to go. Now, a couple of them I kind of disagreed with because they say it's the indirect method. So sold merchandise to customer for cash, I would have thought it was not reported or on statement or in the notes. But when I did it and put it there, it wanted it in operating activities. It's included in net income, but we don't list it separately. So I did disagree with that. Received a cash dividend from investment. We don't show that. It's included in net income, but that's where they wanted to see it. So let me show you with my check my work. Yeah, those two are marked right. So just to alert you to those, as I say, I don't 100% agree with that. All right, next one. They want the net income. They give you all of the amounts. So what I recommend you do is you list out, where is mine? You drop everything in to the format. So, right, we know we have our net income. And let me make this a little bigger. And then we add the depreciation expense. We subtract the gain on sale, right? And then we analyze the current assets and current liabilities. So in my example here, the net cash is $34,000. And then you can go through the gain on sale, drop in your number, that would be added. The increase in accounts receivable would be subtracted. The depreciation expense is added. 6,600 is my number. The decrease in inventory would be added. Increase in prepaid expenses would be subtracted. And then the decrease in wages payable, that would be subtracted. Okay. So the net income, right, would be the number that we can add and subtract all the way down. Well, we need to back into that number, so we're going to start with net cash provided from operations, and we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract what needs to be added, add what needs to be subtracted. So we're going to do the opposite here, except we're going to come to a 34,000. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite of what would show on the statement of cash flows, and if we do the sum of all of these, we get to 2,200. So now let's check it. If our net income is 22,200 and we add and subtract all the way down, will we come up with 34,000? And we do. So that's the right number. Okay. So play around with that one. Next one is we are determining the net cash provided by or used by investing activities. And so, right, if we're receiving cash, that's going to be positive. We're paying cash, that's going to be negative. The only one that's a little tricky is the first one. They give you the book value, the original cost. They told you it was sold at a loss. So you need to figure out what was the cash received. So we learned in Chapter 8 that to determine the gain or the loss on the sale of a plant asset, we take the sales price minus the book value. That gives us the gain or loss. So you're trying to figure out what was the sales price, because that would have been the cash received. So this is what we're trying to figure out. And so drop in the book value that you're given, drop in the gain or the loss, and then back into the number, kind of similar to what we did in that last problem. The other ones, I think they kind of tell you the amount. Next one. Okay, so then the last two, 4 and 5, you're going to do a whole statement of cash flows. Okay, so I do recommend that you go on to D2L and look at my demonstration videos, the cash flows from operating activities, cash flows from investing, cash received from sales. Oh, I've got a separate video on that. Cash flows from financing activities. So if you view these videos, it'll take you through all the steps of doing the statement of cash flows. And so that's what I recommend you do in order to do these problems, right? And remember, you have a check, the cash balance, whatever your increase is, you add it to the cash from the prior year. That gives you the cash from the current year, and then you can go and look on the balance sheet and make sure that's the cash. That's where you should end up. All right. So it's only one thing. So in a way, it's easier than Chapter 11. We had a lot of things going on, but I know a lot of students really have to work to understand the statement of cash flows. So please reach out to me with your questions.